Hello everyone, and welcome back to another weather forecast. I hope you all have had a great Monday so far. Tonight we're going to be talking about the severe weather risk across parts of really the mid and upper south for today on Monday, December the 16th. And then we'll be talking about the medium and long range for most of the video, and mainly towards the second half of the video. But let's go ahead and get started with tonight's update. So first, starting off with the latest 2 p.m. Central Standard Time update from the Storm Protection Center. And so as you can see, we have a marginal risk into these areas here, and that is into portions of southeast Oklahoma, portions of Texas, Arkansas, even into northwest Mississippi and far western Tennessee in that area there. And that is again a level 1 out of 5 risk there. And then we also have a wind risk with this, and that is a 5% wind risk into these areas in this brownish color right there. And then we also have a 5% hail risk into these areas here. And there is also no tornado risk with today's severe weather risk. Now looking at the HRRR weather model for today's severe weather risk, and as you can see, there are already storms and showers throughout much of Kentucky, Tennessee, parts of Arkansas, Oklahoma, and Texas. And then over the next couple of hours, those storms will start to strengthen a little bit into Arkansas there, and then that line of storms will kind of slowly march to the east and also head to the southeast as well. And those storms will probably reach their peak later this evening into tonight. And as you can see here, later this evening you have some pretty strong storms showing up into even Kentucky, western Tennessee, Arkansas there, and even Texas. And then those will move into Mississippi as well late tonight, and that'll continue on into the overnight hours. And then by pretty early tomorrow morning, those storms will still be continuing to move kind of to the south there into Mississippi, Alabama, Louisiana as well. And then by early tomorrow morning, most of those storms should be just about gone. But then possibly by maybe midday tomorrow, you could have some more storms or more pop-up showers and storms, you could say, form into Arkansas, Mississippi, Tennessee, even into Missouri, Texas, Oklahoma. And then most of those will probably remain pretty weak, but I would definitely watch out later this evening if you live into any of these areas here for those storms that could produce some damaging winds and damaging hail. And now looking more at the medium and long range on the GEFS weather model here. And so first, if we look kind of into the central United States, we can see our system that is responsible for that severe weather threat across parts of the upper and mid south. And then that system up here, the low pressure is way up here into Canada, and that system will continue to move out and head to the east and bring some rain again tomorrow, and then even into late Tuesday night into areas of the northeast. And then while the system is moving out, you'll also have some snow falling into the northwestern United States, especially into the Cascades, and then that will continue on out, and you could have some pretty heavy snow as well continue all the way into tomorrow night and Wednesday for parts of the northwestern United States. And then we'll have this other system we'll kind of have to watch into the central and eastern United States on Wednesday, and this could deliver some snow into the Great Lakes region, into the Midwest as well. And then really, as the system heads to the east by Wednesday night and Thursday morning, this could dump some light to moderate snow into some areas of the northeast, especially into Vermont, New Hampshire, Maine, areas like that could receive some moderate snow from this actually. And then that system will continue to move out and pretty much move out for the most part by late Thursday night. And then we'll have to watch this area behind that for some maybe back end snow or some lake effect snow that could start as a response from this other low pressure right here moving on out. And then you'll have that pretty cold air move in behind that, and you'll have below average temperatures move into portions of the eastern United States later this week into this weekend, and then those will linger around. The below average temperatures will linger around for a little bit, and then pretty much be back to normal or above average, possibly by maybe Christmas Day or the day after Christmas. I would say Christmas Day would probably be the last day for maybe normal or below average temperatures, but after that we'll have a more of a warming trend in the eastern United States, and really across most of the United States as a whole. You'll have the temperatures rising above normal, and then really after that there's not a whole lot that looks like that's showing up on the GFS, but I think after we get this warm up, the pattern could get active again, potentially, and so we'll just have to watch out for these other systems that could potentially move into the United States as well. But if we go all the way back here and look a little bit closer at our maybe our snowfall totals for the Northeast here for this upcoming system in the middle of this week. And so if we go into Wednesday and go to Thursday night, and this isn't the official forecast, this is just a general look at the potential snowfall totals from the GFS weather model here. And so as you can see, 8, 9, 10, maybe even 10, 11 inches possible in some of these areas showing up on the GFS, and just this widespread area into Maine, Vermont, New Hampshire, New York State, even Massachusetts, Connecticut as well, and then even into Pennsylvania, Ohio, a small section of Maryland, West Virginia, Indiana, Michigan. All these areas could receive maybe some sort of snow, maybe a light dusting of snow, or even like these areas up here into the Northeast, 7, 8, 9, even maybe 10 inches of snow into these areas. And again, this is not an official forecast. This is just a quick look at this on the GFS, and we'll look more closely at this as we get more official forecast in. And now if we look at the European weather model, the European actually does not show much snow at all, barely over 2 inches, maybe 3 inches possible in some areas on the European weather model here. And I think I would probably agree with the European if this low pressure would stay farther to the south, but if it does move farther to the north, then I would think that the cold air would get kind of entrained into that system, and you'll have that greater potential for snow into these areas. But the GFS has been pretty aggressive for snowfall totals lately, but the European again has been kind of performing a little bit better, so I would lean more towards the European model. And honestly, I would think that the National Weather Service would make a forecast more closely related to the European, just because it has been a little bit more accurate. But we'll have to see how the system plays out though, and this could be kind of a sneak up event if it plays out more like the GFS weather model. And now just quickly looking at the long range forecast here, and really just looking at the second half of December and really towards Christmas. And so if we look at the 12Z EPS ensembles here and look at our overall pattern here, and as you can see, we're going to have that troughing start to move into the eastern United States by really later this week. And then again, here's Friday morning here, and you have that troughing moving in there with that ridge out to the west into, again, the western United States, and that'll move in really kind of by midweek to really early to midweek. That'll really start to move into the western United States, but that troughing will continue to move kind of to the south and slowly kind of head out to the east kind of early next week. And then that troughing again will stay around just a little bit, and then after that troughing leaves, and now we're getting into the early part to middle part of next week towards Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. And so you have maybe some slight ridging here and some maybe just very slight troughing there in the eastern US. And so after this period, I think we'll have a time period where we'll have more of a zonal flow again, like we had just a little bit ago across the United States, and we'll have maybe some ridging into the southwestern and southeastern United States, and then really it's kind of up in the air what will happen after that. But if you look at the zeros of your EPS ensembles here. And so if we go later this month, I think that region could potentially weaken a little bit into the southern United States, and we could potentially see some troughing return again. But again, this is just so far out, it's so hard to make an accurate kind of forecast on this. But if we look at the GEFS ensembles as well, it sort of shows the same scenario with this, with some slight troughing towards the end of the month into the central and western United States, and maybe some slight ridging into the southeast. And so we'll just have to watch that and see how that troughing evolves as we get further into December. And again, we really can't make an accurate forecast just because it is over 300 hours out. So it's not too reliable right now, but it's just something we may need to watch and continue to look at as we get closer to that time period. But for now, we'll just continue to watch for these upcoming systems and see what we may need to monitor over the next week or two. So that's going to be it for tonight's update. I really do appreciate all of y'all watching, and I'm going to try to have another video out maybe this weekend. I'll try to have one out. But again, I really do appreciate all of y'all watching, and I hope y'all have had a great Monday, and I hope y'all have a great rest of y'all's week.